Harding continued on through the cave until he came to a large cavern. Inside were bones, some instruments, what appeared to be a crudely made surgical table in one corner. And on the floor and walls were drawings. Harding felt a chill as he recognized the first subject, a dog, in the process of having its skin peeled off, alive but paralyzed, its eyes wide with terror. Next to it was a goat, legs spread, horns tied off with what looked like surgical string. Below that, a rabbit, its entrails spilling out onto the ground, its heart sliced open, still beating. Each drawing was accompanied by detailed notes: time of death, method of euthanasia, animal's reaction, all written in neat script. He turned to the next wall and his blood ran cold. The subjects were now human. Mary, her hands and feet bound, gagged, kneeling over a table. Henrik, his shirt torn off, arms outstretched, eyes wide with fear, collapsed on the floor. Jacob, face down in a pool of water, his limbs twisted at unnatural angles. Each drawing was accompanied by neat little notes: time of death, method of euthanasia, victim's reaction, all written in the same chilling hand. Harding recognized the handwriting. It was Timothy's. He turned to the last page and his breath hitched. There, in the center of the page, was a drawing of himself. Harding felt a surge of adrenaline. He looked at the other two figures drawn on the page. One was an exact replica of Timothy. The other he didn't recognize. He turned back to the drawing of himself. An arrow pointed to the spot just below his waist. The drawing was detailed, precise, accurate. Harding traced the lines of the sketch with his finger. He could feel the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He looked up and saw the figure of Timothy standing behind him. A small smile played on the corner of Timothy's lips. The drawing was accurate, but it was missing something. Harding stared at the drawing, trying to make out what it was. Finally, he saw it. The arrow had been pointing to his belt buckle. But when he looked down at his own body, he realized that there was no belt buckle there. He'd taken it off before entering the cave. His fingers tightened into fists. This wasn't just a madman's fantasy. It was a plan, a blueprint, a design. Harding whirled around and faced Timothy, his eyes blazing with anger. "You're crazy," he said, his voice shaking with barely suppressed rage. What kind of monster would do such a thing? He knew the answer, but he wanted to hear Timothy say it. To admit it, to confess it, to savor the moment, to have some measure of justice before their fight. Timothy's smile widened. "A monster," he whispered, his voice echoing strangely in the cavern. "That's exactly what I am, a monster." Harding took a step toward Timothy, then another. His eyes never leaving Timothy's face, he could see the triumph in those dark eyes, the madness, the complete absence of remorse or regret. "Why?" Harding asked, his voice hoarse. "Why did you do it?" "Because," Timothy said, stepping closer to Harding, "I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to know how much pain a human could endure. How much suffering could a human tolerate? I wanted to push it to the limit. And you," Harding asked, his eyes narrowing, "you weren't satisfied with animals. You needed human beings. They're more fragile," Timothy said softly. "More susceptible to pain, more likely to scream. Did you enjoy it?" Harding asked, each word coming out as a strained whisper. Timothy's eyes gleamed with a strange light. "Of course I enjoyed it. It was fascinating. It was beautiful." "How?" Harding whispered, his mind reeling. "How could you find beauty in that?" Timothy shrugged. "I don't know. I guess I'm just a monster." He paused. "But it's okay," he added with a smile, "because monsters can be heroes, too. Can't we, Harding? Don't you think?" Harding stared at Timothy, his mind struggling to comprehend the darkness that had consumed this man. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. What could he say? What could he do? He was facing a monster who had found his own twisted form of beauty in pain and suffering. Harding shook his head slowly, his gaze unwavering. "You're not a hero," he said finally, his voice barely a whisper. "You're a killer.